All right. Season finale, season 3. One of the best seasons of superhero television, one of the best seasons of television straight up I personally have seen in quite a long time. Initial reactions, Ricky Flex. Do you think they landed the plane successfully with this season 3 finale?
Yes, for the most part. I think the finale was incredible. I think it lived up to the hype. The reason why I had a little pause is that the very, very end, like the final minute when they're showing where everyone is, it's just like, okay, well, I guess I'm okay with this. But I was a little shocked that they didn't have bigger consequences. So, if
I
you
don't
know what
think
I mean, I'm not trying to be a spoiler here. So, I was just like, I like when there's real
you.
consequences.
Well, let's just do a spoiler warning right now. Spoiler warning right now. If you haven't seen The Boys, go watch it. Then listen to this. We're talking The Boys. We're jumping right into spoilers. So go ahead, speak freely.
Nobody dies.
Maybe one person dies, but we're not really sure.
Who?
Black Noir.
Oh, right.
This
Yeah.
finale didn't land the plane as much as I wanted it to, Ricky Flex. This was, like, for me, one of the weaker episodes in this season. I was pretty pissed off about Black Noir. Like,
That was BS.
they did us dirty with the preview trailer for the finale this week. They show Black Noir, like, sharpening the blade, right? He spent the previous episode building up, right? Showing the background of the relationship of Black Noir and Soldier Boy. And they don't even give us the decency to have Black Noir, like, face Soldier Boy. And now we're at the point where we think Black Noir is dead, right? Although we don't really see it. We do see his body, right? But we have Homelander who brings the mask, right? Or the helmet of Black Noir, shows that he's dead, quote unquote. But at the same time, it's not like even if he isn't dead, he's not gonna be able to face Soldier Boy because Soldier Boy has been put away. He's not dead either, but he's been, like, they've stored him away like Ted Williams style in the freezing chamber. So I just hated the fact that we were promised so much of Black Noir. I was waiting for him to finally go off in the season finale, and they gave us nothing. Nothing.
And like it's a character where you don't have a face. So it's like you could just put in the best stuntman in the world and give us the best action sequences ever without any repercussions, without any like questions about the acting and the like whatever from people online or critically. Like so easy to do. And they never did it. They tried to do it in that one time when he's like hunting down in the house in season 2, but like they gave us the backstory we wanted, right? But it was in animation form. It was kind of weird. It was classic like boys weirdness style, and then
I
that
kind of
was
got why
really
they
it.
did that.
Like that's kind of it, And I just definitely I agree with your pain. I am with you, but overall, I think the episode, besides that and the actual consequences with like the fighting, I think that it was a good episode. Anthony Starr killed it, of course. Like I think everyone did their part very well.
Yeah, no, I say overall I liked it, but like I don't think like they had a chance for me to like say this is like one of my favorite seasons of television, one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen. And like because of this finale, I don't think it is in that category anymore. Like I felt like it was going to be, as long as they said there was going to be a body count this episode. However, those bodies are not really people that we are even relevant or that we even know in this show. A lot of people do die, but they're not even like characters that we're familiar with. They're just random people. The Black Noir thing, I thought it was actually like crushing to watch like those like characters around the Saturday morning cartoons say like we're so proud of you and things like that. All right, we'll see you later, things like that. Like I was actually crushed watching that. Homelander is an interesting, we have a lot of interesting dynamics during this episode. We had the penultimate episode. It ends with Soldier Boy calling Homelander, saying that he is his father, right? A biological father, right? There would be no Homelander without like the genes of Soldier Boy. So when I saw this in the penultimate episode or heard this, I immediately thought like, okay, this introduces a whole new dynamic now. There is a chance that Homelander will be teaming up with Soldier Boy. We know how much a father figure means to um, Homelander. We find out like the background of Soldier Boy's father and things like that. So like it was really a possibility that these guys were going to team up when they got together. And Butcher was kind of in Soldier Boy's ears saying, "Hey, he's not your dad. He's not your dad. Not your dad, right? Cunt.
Oi, oi.
Oi." So when eventually you have that moment where Homelander and Soldier Boy start fighting, I was almost relieved. You know, I didn't want to like see like another episode where Homelander, I guess, is on top. You could say he kind of like has the power at the end of this episode, and this season. But I'm just happy we got like these massive fights, and I was happy we got Soldier Boy versus Homelander, Maeve versus Homelander, Butcher versus Soldier Boy, Ryan versus whoever was touching Homelander. You know, I just thought it provided a lot of like fireworks in Vought Industries, you know?
Yeah, and even outside at the very end with Homelander just absolutely murking that dude and then getting applause from it with a mother's milk's like what do you call it? Like
Husband?
no,
His
like
wife's husband, his
yeah,
ex-wife's husband.
his ex-wife's husband. Like that just took that whole scene, the guy becoming the most hated man on the internet and in the show over Homelander, and then the Homelander meme being shocked that he's getting celebrated for just murdering that dude flat out. That's just turned into the meme on social media that's just absolutely running rampant right now. So that's just classic boys, what we've been saying all season. Just they just are a part of our culture in more ways than one, not just because it's a great television show. And that's why I think this finale did hit. Yes, did we not get like what exactly we wanted? Yeah, I now agree with you. This season and show as a season won't go down as one of the greatest seasons of all time in TV history, but I still will put it up there as the best TV show right now on
It's
television.
it's the
Like,
best season of the show. I'll say that. Easily the best season of the show. If they had the finale that season 2 had, there would be like that level with the consequences, right? Butcher's wife dies at the hands of Ryan. Okay. Then you have Stormfront and the moments where Stormfront's getting kicked the shit out of, like in that episode. Like that is one where you were standing up and cheering during that finale. Here, I just felt like there was unpaid consequences, like you said. Maeve should have died.
should have died.
Soldier Boy should have died potentially. Like if you're gonna like, but like I guess you can only have Soldier Boy live. Like he's too juicy of a character. Like honestly, Soldier Boy, I'm kind of glad he didn't die because I think he has a lot more to give to this universe. But I'm wondering, like, they just put him in the cryo chamber. Like, when's he coming back out? Like, what's going to draw him back out? And who's going to set him free? They've already set him free from a cryo chamber once before. Like, they got to figure out another reason to do that. I feel like sometimes the show is going in circles. Like, we're now at the point where Homelander is walking free again. Okay, the whole team is still intact. Boys are back together and things like that. And then we're moving on to the next season. And then Newman, right, is also just like at the end of season 2. She's now the looming figure where we thought at the end of season 2 she was going to be the villain for season 3. Right, season 3 ends. Right, we expect her to be the villain as the VP candidate. Season 4, right? It just seems like I don't know. Some things are repeating when they shouldn't be, in my opinion.
I agree, and then I also agree because like it seems like the crowd chamber. It seems like we're gonna have to release him to fight Homelander when Homelander gets even more out of whack and Ryan gets so powerful. It's like we need Soldier Boy. Let's just take him out of the cryo chamber. So they're gonna need a different twist on somehow him getting out of there, and it can't be for Homelander. I don't know what that's gonna be then.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's got to be. They must have a trick up their sleeve, I would think. And what's interesting, Eric Kripke mentioned there's going to be a spinoff for The Boys. I think what was it called? Varsity, I think it's called. Right about that?
Is Varsity something or it's called Varsity?
I think it's called Varsity. So a spinoff show for The Boys, and it's going to have storylines that are going to be interwoven into the next season of The Boys and vice versa. I think that's interesting. I'm not sure exactly. I think Varsity talks about like college age level heroes, like young heroes. And it's like having like this interconnected universe is going to be interesting. Do you have any idea when like Varsity's coming out? Do you know any of those details?
No, I didn't see it, but I wasn't happy when I saw it. I really wasn't. I'm like happy as in, The Boys, like it's so big, it's getting spinoffs. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, wait, crap, I have to watch more TV, and it's not even a core product. Like, the core product is The Boys. This is a secondary spinoff. It might not be good, not the same characters here. Like, they're gonna have to. I just don't think it would have that same magic that The Boys will have no matter what, because The Boys just such a breath of fresh air, not just for superheroes, but for TV in general. This won't be a breath of fresh air. So it's just like, ugh, but I have to watch it if there's interwoven storylines. I was a little annoyed.
Did you watch Diabolical? Did you ever watch that show?
No, I did not.
I didn't either. I was kind of nervous to watch it because I was afraid it would just get me angry and like I think it would suck. Like just
Right.
I didn't love the trailers a lot. The clips that they showed, I didn't think were very funny. I thought it was almost too much off the wall. I much prefer the cartoons that were going on in Black Noir's head. Much prefer those cartoons. Those guys were great. All right. Where else do I want to go here? Ryan, thoughts on Ryan this episode. So Ryan, what's interesting is that when they go to the there's this rally for Homelander. Okay, Homelander comes down. Ryan can fly at this point because Homelander says, "I want you guys to meet somebody." He points to the air. Ryan drops down. That's scary because it seems like he's learned very fast how to fly. It seems like he's going to be his sidekick, right? Like going into the next season. And that's going to provide an interesting dynamic, especially with a Butcher who has nothing to lose, who has made this promise to like Homelander that it's going to come down to a one-on-one, him versus Homelander to the death. And obviously Butcher has 12 months to live or less, according to the doctor, due to his use of Temp V. I mean, what is this dynamic going to look like? Any predictions between, right, Homelander and Ryan, his son, versus, right, the mother's ex-husband or the mother's husband, Butcher? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I think that the Ryan character, this seems too predictable, so I'm expecting a twist, but, Homelander's clearly teaching him well. Like, in season 2, you thought he wasn't, right? Pushing him off the roof. Still an all-time funny scene from The Boys. And him just falling right on his face. But he's clearly teaching him well, and he's gonna be buddy, but then Homelander's gonna do something, or Ryan's gonna realize what Homelander is, and then Butcher, before he dies, reins Ryan in and takes care of him and makes sure he's on the right path. That's what seems like it's gonna happen. I don't know if it'll be this season or it'll be season 5. How long are they gonna stretch out? Was it 6 months Butcher has to live? I don't know how long they're gonna stretch this out for, but it's gonna be interesting to see moving forward.
He ain't dying. Butcher ain't dying.
But like they could end the series like similar to like a Breaking Bad style, like
you already know what's gonna happen with Butcher. He's gonna become the thing he hates. He's gonna be shot up with a bunch of normal V. He's gonna become a regular superhero. Okay.
Wolverine.
Yes, the only reason that's gonna save him from the Temp V is someone's gonna shoot him up with the regular V, and he's gonna be a superhuman.
I can see that too.
It's going to turn a soup. It's going to be a soup. He's going to become the thing he despises. We also have like the boys back together. We have Starlight joining the boys. Okay. This should be an interesting dynamic. It seems like she's forgiven Huey very quick for such diabolical behavior. It's kind of question that a little bit. But also Starlight has that moment. I thought this was not good also. It's when Starlight is facing down. I think, who was she facing down? Was it Soldier Boy? And then like Huey's like, okay, how can I help out? Like rather than take the 10 let's turn up the lights. He turns up the lights. So I'm just like, that's the payoff for his character. Like he's like, I need to find a way to protect you or help you. How can I do that? Let's turn up the lights to 12.
So
like I'm just like, God damn it. Like this is where like the payoff didn't actually pay off,
It's Huey. He's the worst character.
The worst. I don't know. He's likable, dude. He's a likable guy. He was bad this season. This season I found him very annoying.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Huey. Feel for him, but never been a fan.
He started off with a lot of promise this season as when he was an agent, right? Thought he was trying to help track down those evil soups and everything. But yeah, not working out now. Not working out very well. Trying to think of any other dynamics or characters you want to discuss from the season.
I was shocked at like no Stan Edgar.
I have this
showing
here.
up. I was shocked not to see some sort of like at least like a oh, remember him, or like, oh, season 4, or like, be careful,
Teaser.
or something. A teaser, thank you. Like, I was very shocked to see nothing. We literally last time we seen him was in that conference when um the Victoria Newman like kicked him off, like a Vought basically. So or like, you know what I mean. So like very interesting to see how there wasn't a teaser of bringing him back or anything, because he seems to love the show too on this press tour with Anthony Starr. Seems like they have a good relationship there as well. Just giving each other high praise all the time. So I would be shocked if he doesn't come back next season.
Stan Edgar is going to be back in a big way because Vought is in shambles.
Right. He'll probably have to come back, old rule, bada bing, bada boom.
Like everything that he predicted about Homelander, like taking over Vought, like it has come true. Right. He's looked after it selfishly. Okay. What's her face as the CEO has been a disaster. What's her name again? The redhead.
That stinks. I don't remember.
God damn it. What's her name?
That's not our forte.
That was also very disgusting when she pulled off all her hair and showed she was wearing a wig in the finale.
All-time scene though. Like good Anthony Starr scene right after Black Noir. And then he calls out like you octopus. Like that was unreal.
No, he was just downright a bully in that scene. But Stan Edgar's gonna come back. The 7 is down to 3 people. Right? The 7 now has Homelander, the Deep, and A-Train. Nobody else. No Maeve, no Starlight, no Black Noir. Okay. And then obviously Cyclone was killed at the beginning of this season. So it seems like we are literally down to 3. And the Deep makes a very... So first of all, Stan Edgar's going to have to come back. Do you think they're going to replace the 7 before I go on with the Deep? Are they going to replace the 7? Or
no more 7.
So it's just going to go into what Stan Edgar originally planned with like this pharmaceutical type of company and working with the military. Is this idea going to come back and going to take center stage next season?
I think so, but they still will have that transition phase and they'll still have these superheroes doing their thing. There's too many superheroes not to do this. I just think that the core product is going to be the pharma. And by the way, it's Ashley.
You know what crossed my mind? If there wasn't already an election going on, like the dissolving of the 7 at Vought, it made me think like Homelander has built such a base. He's worried about being so likable. What if like there was a season where Homelander ran for president? like that'd be kind of crazy.
That would be crazy. It's too bad that the Victoria Newman is running for VP and probably is going to kill the presidential candidate so she can run for VP or president.
Very scary. And I think that's where it's going to be interesting because like Victoria Newman like screws her dad out of the head of Vought, right? As will Stan Edgar's. He have like a vendetta and he's going to try and take down his daughter, right? So Victoria Newman, right? His adopted daughter. It will Stan Edgar be working with the boys whatsoever, potentially.
That would be something.
Homelander, will he even be connected with Vought anymore? Will he be doing like things on his own due to his like his unorthodox or his like antagonistic relationship with Stan Edgar? Can they learn to live cohesively after like the rift they had during this season? There are a lot of questions, but I agree with you. There could have been a little bit of a teaser. There could have been like, oh, like Stan Edgar, like just sitting back in his chair, right? Maybe, but it's hard to tell because things are in such disarray with Homelander and what's going on with Vought.
Yeah, and I think going back to the Emmy conversation for a second here, I would be shocked if Anthony Starr didn't win an Emmy like for this season. But that also reminded me because I was looking at like Disney Plus to see how they did with their Emmy noms and like Moon Knight. I was like, oh, I saw this like headline like Moon Knight had the most noms. I was like, oh, like Oscar Isaac definitely like probably leading the way there. He didn't get nominated for Moon Knight.
Yeah, he got nominated for Scenes from Marriage instead.
Yeah, interesting. I saw the first episode of Scenes from Marriage, got so bored and turned it off.
But I saw other shows were getting nominated that were in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think Falcon the Winter Soldier was nominated for something, and I think
they all were nominated for something.
Yes, wasn't Anthony Mackie or no? Sebastian Stan was nominated for Pam and Tommy. I was shocked by that.
Exactly.
Pam and Tommy was getting a lot of love.
Yeah, I was just like, it's classic Emmys, you know, like definitely like some mistakes and also like going with the popular vote at points.
They're more open to the mainstream than the Oscars. Like they're very much open to like what is everybody watching right now.
Maybe more like a Golden Globes
television, right? 100%. All right. Any other comments on this season before we wrap?
I think, like, even though we did talk about disappointments, I do think overall this season was amazing. Like, this was an amazing season of television.
I did want to say also, another part I really liked is Maeve. I think Maeve's arc in this season was great. Like, she didn't have the screen time that she had in the first and second season, but to see her go on this journey, right? Go on this journey of sobriety and then taking on Homelander, training herself to take on Homelander, and then saying like she's not a hero to Starlight, like her one job is to take out Homelander. She sacrifices that selfishness in her. She says there are no real heroes. What does she do? She makes the ultimate sacrifice and takes out Soldier Boy, right? Who extracts her powers and everything when we think she's dead. So I think it was a great end to her. And like it's also hilarious how she turns and notices that she's gonna have to save everybody and be the hero, and she turns and just says shit and then does it. You know, it's a great like way to end her character on the show. Although yeah, I would assume that she's done, especially after Ashley deleted the video in the alleyway that showed that she was still alive. Remember that?
Yep, and then she has no powers.
Yep, because for some reason Soldier Boy can take those away after his experiences in Russia.
But you know what? They could always just inject. We could just find Compound V anywhere we want and always inject it back in. So,
but she was taking it to Homelander though, bro. Like she had that hand-to-hand combat, and then when Homelander is squeezing the blood out of her eye, I'm like, this is the boys. This is the boys right now. Like male versus female, squeezing the blood out of this girl's eye. Like that's intense.
And I will say, like this season had so many great moments, but I still would say my favorite the boys moment is still the airplane scene when Homelander and Maeve ditched
season one.
Yeah, I still say it's my favorite scene from the boys.
Man, oh man, favorite scene in the history of the boys. You know, I love this season. I'll say, I love the fight at Hero Gasm. That was an all-time moment.
That was good.
You had we have Homelander versus Soldier Boy, Butcher and Soldier Boy versus Homelander, and Huey jumping in there naked, transporting places. I love when they kick the crap out of Stormfront at the end of season 2. That's one of my favorite moments for sure.
That was also good.
That season 2 had like some crazy moments, like the Nazi reveal and everything. It's not as good as season 3, I would say, but man, it's good. And Stormfront was an amazing villain.
Season 3 was juicier because it had Soldier Boy, right? And
yeah.
I wouldn't say Stormfront was the same. Like that was just like everything that was happening. Like Butcher finally finds Becca and like all this stuff that's going on. It's just like what? Like insane, like what twists and turns. This one was just like iconic moment, boom, iconic moment here, big moment. Like this means something to the whole series more so than in season 2.
Yeah. The plane moment, though, that's definitely at least the best moment of season 1, I would say. Minimum.
Yeah. I love that. That was like, to me, like, holy shit, this show is different.
That's where Anthony Starr was different. I was just like him saying, let's get out of here. Screw these people. I was like, oh my God, this is what happens if superheroes actually existed, right? This might happen. They just have the will to choose who lives, who dies. And if they give up hope, sucks for you guys.
We can't just take one because then they'll tell everyone. We have to leave them all. Unbelievable.
Terrible person. All right. That's going to do it for our recap of the boys. And that's going to do it for episode 124 of TDI. Make sure you're tuning in to our feed. Earlier this week, we did our Marvel tiers and Thor Love and Thunder review, spoiler and non-spoiler style. So wherever you're listening right now, hit the follow button. Also scroll down earlier in the timeline, listen to our previous episode. Next week on TDI, we have the checkup coming back as usual. We're going to recap the best of 2022 so far. And we're also going to look ahead to the best, most anticipated movies of the rest of the calendar year. Make sure you're following us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, for all the major movie news. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube for clips from the pod or full episodes. This is Dr. L and Ricky Flick signing off. Until next time, we will smell ya.